I'm going to grab my prop. We hit record and everything flies out of our mind, right? And maybe there's a big body overwhelm that can happen, like a flight state, right? Where we just go blank. And often right behind that is a whole bunch of self-judgment, right? What is wrong with me? I just need to get over myself and freaking do this, right? So the record and release method is what it is. Hit the record button and say something. This is horrible. I feel so cringy and stupid. I have no idea what to say. I don't know what the words are. Hit the stop button and then delete it. Just get that part over. Record and release. You can do that 2 or 3 times in just 30 seconds, 1 minute. And what I have found again and again, when people are invited and emboldened and encouraged to just do it as bad as they possibly can, often it's freer, it's easier, they get off their back, and it goes more smoothly. So I have found that.
Welcome to the Social Media Takeaway. I'm your host, Louise McDonald, and this is the show for business people who want to learn how to use social media more effectively to drive sales and leads for your business. If you enjoy the show, please make sure that you follow us. And if you enjoy this episode, which I'm sure you are going to, please make sure that you give it a 5-star review. So today I'm delighted to be joined by Michelle Copper. And Michelle is CEO of The Inspired Voice. And Michelle helps coaches, speakers, and healers grow their visibility and revenue through aligned presence, messaging, strategy, and sales. So for over 30 years, she has guided experts to unleash their voice to create more income and impact. So Michelle says, and she's so right, you are your best business building asset, and your self-expression is your key to prosperity. Michelle, you're very welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
So Michelle, your superpower is video. One of your superpowers, I know you have very many, but I know in this episode, we're going to talk about that video doesn't require confidence. It requires presence. So tell me, why are you so passionate about video?
Video, there's so many reasons. Diving in terms of how it can help us to stand out, to resonate with our best clients, the human voice, the human face, especially in our AI world, is a huge commodity. We're trained from infants to look for the face and to resonate with that voice. And it builds familiarity very quickly. Now, yes, we can have clones of ourselves and we can do our videos that way today. So I know for sure that the power of video, because of those things, we've all watched a television show where we've seen 22 seasons of the same characters, and the show may not even be that good, but you feel like you know them and you want to find out what happens to their story because we have seen their presence on camera, on video. So that's one of the reasons why I know that it is the most powerful tool. I will say that I think still being able to pop in with a live video, we can talk about forms of video and all that as we get into it. In the AI world, that's the external reason why video is so powerful today. People watch it, the algorithms favor it, it works to build familiarity, know, and trust, right? Those are the external reasons. And then there's the internal reasons. And this is about owning who we are, articulating our message, showing up with our unique, what I call your frequency factor. This is the combination of your story, maybe lifetimes of who you are and how you have become, and your expertise, and the challenges you've overcome, and your perspective, the way you put the puzzle together.
What advice would you give them from starting from scratch? What should they do?
Great. And so I agree with you that if you're going to have PTSD every time you try and do a video, there's other ways to use video, right? You don't have to be in your videos. I do believe there is alchemy when you are in your videos. But if that's not going to work for you, use video in another way. Even animating a simple text post is a video, right? So yes, please use video and honor yourself. And if you want to be using video, because often there's that part of us that doesn't want to be holding back. We wish we were that bold, or we wish we were that confident, or we wish that we could say it that clearly or be as free and open as we think we see other people doing. So if that's on your heart, the simplest way to get started, actually before that, you may have heard the recommendation to just do 30 videos, right? And I know many people who have just done 30 videos. or tried to many times. And it just gets worse, not better. Or you don't make it through the 30 videos. So if you want to get started, having a simple framework for how you're going to structure what you talk about is very helpful. And so when I said about doing those 30 videos, it's the first few probably took me 4 hours. Stopping and starting, redoing. I really was trying. I've been teaching for a long time, and talking and teaching is one of the ways that I play to my strength rather than writing and scripting everything out. We didn't have teleprompters. I taught people initially, and this is what I still recommend if you're just getting started, to take a Post-it pad and write 3 big bullets of what you're going to talk about. An opening question, your topic. I call them teeny tiny teaching topics. We have a gift for your audience to dig into that today. And then some simple how you're going to close. And that was it. But the stopping and starting and the redoing and take after take, and then trying to edit and figuring out the lighting, and some of them are grainy, and we just didn't have the tools we have today. But it was like trial by fire. And it's not for the faint of heart. This is after 20 years as a performance teacher and performer, overcoming my own intrepid stage fright and cringe. So I brought all of that to those videos. So you don't have to start there today, but I do want you to remember that the 30 videos, just do 30 videos, is easier said than done. And doing 30 videos over and over and having it get worse and worse or not get better is very challenging, and it can undermine your confidence instead of elevating it. And so having a simple framework for how you're going to talk about stuff, knowing what you're going to say at the beginning and knowing what you're going to say at the end. That's the only thing that I put on the Post-it besides the bullet points, right? And then there's some different techniques that I've used to help people if you're really cringing. One of them is called the record and release method. Some of those tools are going to be in the gift that we can share with you.
So what is that record and release then, Michelle?
Sometimes we hit record. I'm going to grab my prop. We hit record and everything flies out of our mind, right? And maybe there's a big body overwhelm that can happen, like a flight state, right? Where we just go blank. And often right behind that is a whole bunch of self-judgment, right? What is wrong with me? I just need to get over myself and freaking do this, right? So the record and release method is what it is. It's exactly what it says. Hit the record button and say something. This is horrible. I feel so cringy and stupid. I have no idea what to say. I don't know what the words are. Hit the stop button and then delete it. Just get that part over. Record and release. You can do that 2 or 3 times in just 30 seconds, 1 minute. Don't watch them, right? You don't have to delete them. And what I have found again and again, when people are invited and emboldened and encouraged to just do it as bad as they possibly can, often it's freer, it's easier, they get off their back, and it goes more smoothly. So I have found that the second take is often the best take, and to do it the 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th, and 12th get worse and not better. Or you have now, with all of the editing we can do, which I don't recommend, you can just have too much content to sift and sort through, and then it becomes an editing project instead of a sharing your voice and your message project. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I say to people as well, and I've done it myself, is that in 2025, 2026, as we are now, I know what tends to work very well in video is fast moving, things changing in the background.
Yeah.
So I remember for some videos I did, and just recording like a line, but just changing my location for every line. So I didn't have to remember like everything I was going to say. I just need to remember the next thing I wanted to say. Just in my office, I moved from my office, I moved out of my office, I walked into my office, I was walking out of my office, and then I had 5 or 6 different lines that I just needed to stitch together. And it worked out really well. And it took the pressure off having to try and get it all perfect in one take. So for somebody like that is starting or is recording video, do you have any advice on like even lighting, sound? What do you recommend?
Keep it simple, figure it out, and have it set up and ready to go easily is my main advice. Lots of technology. I encourage you to use what you have to begin. The tools that I use, I have a simple Blue Yeti mic in my office. I'll use a Bluetooth headset on my phone anywhere. And then I use a tool called Descript to just enhance, you let the AI make it sound a little better. There's a studio sound element. It's also a very easy editing tool, and it can give you layouts and things like that. My first recommendation is, if you're not techie, is to keep it so very simple. And I have a floor light. I like to eliminate the belief that we have to have a bunch of expensive, complicated technology in order to do the video. If you have a smartphone, you have a good enough camera. In front of a window, we have gray, rainy days, many of the days here in Oregon, maybe like you. I'm in front of a window. The light is decent. I don't even have my light on today. I have a second monitor that also bounces white light and a desk lamp. Being mindful, paying attention, but most importantly, get what you need and use it. Right? Keep it simple. Have it ready to go. I've used a variety of different clip lights. I've used some of the ring lights. I really don't like it when the ring light shows in a reflection in the background. If my pictures in the back have a ring light on them, it just bugs me. Nobody else notices. So the simplest way, even a wired headset, if it's not a Bluetooth headset and you're on your phone, you can see I have everything right here because I do it all the time, right? My tripod's busted, so I've got it wedged with a little piece of paper. I need to get a new one. So have it handy, and overcast natural daylight in front of you is great, and keep it simple. That's my best recommendation.
Brilliant. Okay. I'm always saying to people that when they record video, the first 2 or 3 seconds are incredibly important. And so my advice that I have been giving down through the years is please do not start your videos with, hello, my name.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about, because you've got 2 or 3 seconds to get people's attention and hook them in. So have you any advice on how people can start their videos? It's actually natural, because I know I give the advice, but even when I go to record my own video, it is natural to want to start off saying, hi, it's Louise here. And today I'm going to give you. So what strong hooks are working right now?
So I don't think of trending hooks personally because I'm so about your message, but I do believe this still works really well to open with a question, right? A top of mind question that's using the language of your client. Now, that's easy for me to say, but that is the most elusive thing that I find people as experts with expertise and wisdom to articulate, because we know what they need and they're looking for what they want, what they think they need. And so finding those questions, we do have powerful tools with AI where that your AI can give you a list of questions that your clients might be thinking of when they wake up.
Fantastic. Okay, so you mentioned AI a few times through the conversation. What do you think? I know I had a lady and she's like, I hate doing video and I've just done a whole new program and I just got AI, like it's all AI. I'm not there at all. I remember thinking, oh God.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we're in a wacky, wild time. And I was at an event recently talking to a brilliant marketer and technology enthusiast, and he was able to help me be a little bit more open to this idea of actually building your own clone. Because you can't build a clone without being there. Your clone is made from you, your voice, your words, and your message. So I'm staying curious. Now, the problem happens when you're talking to people to sign them up and you're not perfect, right? Or you're speaking on a stage and it's IRL instead of the virtual you. And the other problem I see with AI is the lack of trust. People know it. People doubt the authenticity of everything already. And so when you rely on AI, I think you're missing an opportunity for transparency and connection if you only rely on AI. For your sales pages or your sales letter, if you're using that and it gets it done, great.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we go back to that. When we're holding back a part of ourselves, people feel it. Yeah. So I don't know. That's my short answer to how I feel about AI.
By just relying on an AI version of themselves, because as you said, like AI on the surface is always fantastic, but there's nothing like human connection. And I don't think it should replace you.
But it's all surface. And so the premium actual human connection is becoming more and more valuable. And that's what I think will continue to happen, at least for the time being. And then there'll be a generation of people seeking their own authenticity at some point, or not, right?
I think there's going to be, you can even see it. You see your own newsfeed is more and more full of AI video. And you can tell at the moment by the sound. You can, if you listen to it, definitely AI can tell by the sound, but they're going to figure out how to get over that fairly soon.
Yeah, the AI itself will figure it out.
It'll figure it out. And then you're nearly down. I think people are looking at through their newsfeed and they're constantly questioning, is this real?
Is this real?
Is this real? Is this real? Is this real? So I think in a world where there's so much not real,
Yeah.
I think go listen back to this podcast a few times,
Right.
and put yourself outside your comfort zone, because showing up with the imperfect, with your imperfect hair and your imperfect makeup,
Yes.
imperfect looks, is going to help you be more authentic and create more connection than
And
this.
more trustworthy.
More trustworthy. And I actually think that if I put out a clone AI version of me, I think it would actually, in some ways, would it make people distrustful of you because it's not real.
Yeah. If they're discerning, right?
Yeah.
I also think that's why I maintain, one of my earlier video courses was all about, when Facebook Live came out, I made a course about it because going live is even scarier, right? Oh crap, there I am talking to people, what? So I think that will have a new level of resonance and a new possibility. So getting good at being able to hop in with a quick value tip and say, I'm going to do this cool thing. Here's a free gift if you want it. This is what it's going to get for you, whatever, even if it's marketing. But if it's you live, it says so.
Yeah.
And I think it's the stakes go up a little bit if you're going to try and keep that under 30 seconds or 90 seconds, right? But I think that that's going to continue to be people who are really invested and curious and resonating. They will watch your lives.
I did a series of videos a few weeks ago.
Nice.
So I did, okay, I said, I'm going to talk about this topic over the next number of videos. So, and at the end of each video, I said, so with the next video, I'm going to talk about this topic. And on each video, I said video number 1 and video number 2 and video number 3.
Yeah.
So it was a series of videos. And actually, did they go viral? No, they didn't go viral. They performed decently enough in relation to followers I have. But what struck me, Michelle, was the amount of people who have come up to me at an event and were like, I love your videos. I love
Nice.
you. And I'm like,
Nice.
really? And they're like, yes, I love your videos. I watched all your videos. They're really good. So sometimes as well, and this is for anyone listening in that's maybe starting out, or maybe they're further on, and sometimes you might put up a video and it gets a few hundred or a few thousand views and you're like, oh, is that it? But actually, if 50 people watched your video to the very end and really took something from it, that's really powerful.
It's huge. And 10 people, I had a client who did the live streaming program with me years ago, became a one-on-one client for years. And she had one Instagram reel that from the week she posted it, she had booked a phone call. Now, this is about also having a system for how your content leads to clients, which I know is something I'm sure you've covered here many times. So it's not just about more video. I'm so glad we remembered that came through just now because it's so important. It's not, people often think I just need more visibility, and visibility that doesn't turn into conversations, clients, and cash flow is exhausting, and it can undermine your confidence because you start to think nobody cares. Back to Ming, who did one video and somebody reached out to her right away. It wasn't even a big call to action video. They were just like, love this. And she was like, cool, you want to talk? And she was like, yes, turned into a $20,000 client. So she didn't have 50 people or 100 people at that time. She's since had hundreds of people watching a lot of her videos, but even her first videos, but that one in particular, I'm really glad you brought that forward, right? And in the world today with information overload is real, it's only going to get worse and more. And Google did their study 7-11-4, you can Google it, right? People are buying in a different way. So when they see you on video, and they can hear you at an event and go, oh, she did videos? I'm going to go look at her videos, or I met her, or I'm scoping her out. Or they see you on social and they want to go to the YouTube channel. You're connecting those dots. You have this ecosystem. And people need to hear you and be in your vibe and experience you for these 7 hours of content consumption. Did they read your book? Did they watch your videos, right? And then see you across a couple of different platforms. Google says 4, right? And Google has all the data. So this is just an average across all the data, but so powerful. And the videos are working for you around the clock, around the world, all the time. They're there. And so there's huge power in people getting to know and trust you, especially if it's really you showing up on video.
Especially if it's really. And you tell us about the gift you have for them.
Oh yeah, we're going to gift you the Video Boost Blueprint, which has a beautiful guidebook that talks through some of this. How do I figure out what to talk about? Some simple ways to get set up, get your system set up with really simple technology, and that content structure that we've touched on here today. And then we have 8 mini training videos with different tips on how to go through each step of that content and the record and release method and how to have confident presence on video and some of those things to get you started. Or if there's a particular piece of that puzzle that's, you kind of know what to do, but you're not, if you actually do the things recommended in this simple, it's got mini trainings, little juicy bits. If you do those things, your relationship to being on camera will shift, and you'll have a sense of what to talk about and how to take your expertise and turn it into a simple nugget of value and connection and resonance.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having come on the show, Michelle. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. And if people want to find you on social media, where do you hang out?
We've got a nice presence on Facebook. We have Instagram, our Give Voice to Your Vision channel on Instagram. You can find Michelle Copper on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn as well, all under my name, Michelle Copper, for the most part. You'll find the Inspired Voice too.
Oh, thanks so much, Michelle. It was great to chat.
Thanks, Louise. Thanks for having me.
That's it, everyone. That's another episode of the Social Media Takeaway. If you have some feedback, make sure that you tag us on social media. You'll find me under Sell on Social M, or on LinkedIn, you'll find me under Louise McDonald. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you thought about the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you know anyone who may be interested, be sure to share the show with them too. Thanks, everyone.